not really there to talk, so it's about other forms of communication.
Important.
And how do you mean communication? Talking while or after, during, before?
All of it.
Well, I like to talk, so it's good, I guess. Yeah.
Really important. Because if not, then it sucks.
As long as someone, I tend not to, I don't want to butt in on somebody's performance, just because earlier on, when I was first receiving my oral fixation from my partner, I noticed that if I did maybe try and give direction, it wasn't taken too kindly, so I guess I've just learned to, I don't know, kind of works better when somebody can just have some artistic freedom.
I think it's really important. I mean, you don't want to get into a situation where you haven't really asked someone what they like and don't like. I mean, sometimes you can just tell in communication, like verbal communication isn't really necessary, but you definitely, like, if you haven't had a verbal conversation about it, you really have to watch for body language to make sure it's making someone uncomfortable or like painful, etc.
I guess it's good to know what the other person likes or doesn't like.
You have to tell them what feels good and what doesn't. You know, it's obviously going to improve it.
Quite a lot. You have to know, like, if they're okay with it or if it's...
It has to be, I think it has to be discussed. You have to make sure everybody's comfortable with everything.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty important. Like, you want them to tell them, like, you want to know what they like. You want them to be able to tell you that, and yeah. And if you don't want to, like, continue, they should understand that if you want to say I'm done, that they should respect that.
I'm pretty open with communication. I like to know what I'm doing right or wrong, I guess. Yeah.
Fuck it. If you gotta talk to her, then you know her too well. I'm just kidding. Communication is key. It's key. Without it, there's nothing there. It's just like, I think sex is all about communication. If you strip the communication away from sex, it's like taking the tires off a car, like, you know, taking the handle off a door, you know, it's just empty, meaningless. And I mean, I'm sure it can still be good, but when you really have communication there, then that's what binds it together.
Not that important. It's nice when you're asked, like, do you like this? Is that feeling good? Whatever. That's sweet. That's good. But not the most important. I'd say 35%.
Well, if I ever want it, I'll ask for it.
Extremely important.
Very important.
Very, important. You don't want
Or
to
else
just be
it just
silent.
sucks.
Or else it's just weird and silent. It's just like, it sucks, it's weird.
Definitely. Yeah, it's probably like the biggest part of a relationship. Yeah.
Well, I find it very important. A lot of talking, a lot of you find out what you like, dislikes, and
I'm super verbal about everything, so I think that's really important. It just adds to like the passion and stuff. You can get people going, and you know what I mean.
I feel like it's very important during, but leading up to it possibly, and afterwards, you know, it's good to tell them what they did correctly. You know, sometimes it can be embarrassing to speak up, but you know, it's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, totally. There has to be a connection.
I'm quite open with what I want. I'll tell my girlfriend what I want, and she will relay back to me if she's willing to do it or not.
It's probably a good thing. Would it not be? Miscommunication would be a very bad thing, I think.
It's interesting. Again, I think a lot of people don't like to speak during sex, and it's more so like, let's not really look at each other, let's not kiss, but I oftentimes participate in like flow conversation during intercourse. I just tell them things about them, like what I like about them, like I tell them how they're making me feel and how incredible it is that they're able to make me feel that way, and it's usually reciprocal, and I like that. And my lover is someone whom I love, and so I think that's a huge element in like our sex life, is that like sex itself is communication, so it doesn't necessarily require verbal any sort of like verbal structure to it. So, but I like to just add that in. But it's like the movement itself is definitely a huge communication. And afterward, we're sending messages, and it's nice. All like positive feelings.
I'd just like to say I think this is an awesome project.
The more the better.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's good. Yay.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Weirdly taboo.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably want to know their history first before you go ahead and do something like that, just in case, like STDs and things like that. You don't want to do it to a complete stranger. Yeah.
It is a great tool that most girls don't understand that guys really enjoy, and most guys aren't willing to say that they enjoy it because they don't want to make a girl feel uncomfortable.
Just that sometimes you like doing them and sometimes you absolutely hate it.
This one time at summer camp, I must have been in grade 3 or grade 2 going into grade 3, and there was this boy and we were swimming in a pool and he gave me these goggles and he says, go under the water. And I go under the water and there he is. He just pulls down his trunks and like reveals to me his like 3-inch penis because he's like, I don't know how old, 7? And that's when I fell in love with cock.